Oh, wow. We finally got a legitimate answer to why we have not yet seen the Epstein client list.
You know, lately there's been a lot of conspiracy theories about why the footage proving Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself is taking so long to release. I think I should maybe do like a slow zoom here. And as the editor in charge of this project, I want to say that we're this close and perfection takes time. See, now I'm kind of like in the green. I spent 18 hours a day of the last 2 weeks working on color alone. Wipe out.
Yeah, it's not a disclosure. It's an artistic rendering. It's a fiction. It's a show. It's a presentation in order to convince you that you were wrong this whole time and the government was right. The show is now finally being exposed, as of course we have a lot more pressing questions that we're going to be asking in this particular video about the exact evidence and work that the FBI should be doing. All of this as now we have just gotten the release of the RFK files. What is inside of those files? What's really going on here? As of course we're learning that Tulsi Gabbard allegedly was using AI in order to release this, as Donald Trump himself had some very interesting questions to what happened to the Kennedy family. We're going to be getting into all of those conspiracies and a lot more as the documents are now finally being released. Is it going to amount to something legitimate? Well, we're going to discuss that and a lot more in this particular broadcast. If you appreciate our critical point of view that has been more of a conspiracy realist take on global situations, while the corporate media lies to you with their absurd theories about what they think actually happened by what the elites tell them to say, subscribe. Click the notification button. As of course, we have a lot of things to get into, including the questions of where are these hard drives? Who has them right now? As Business Insider had a very interesting article, and I want to go through this article a little bit later in this video because there's some good information here that correlates with a lot of my research that I've been doing on this particular topic. And it says, here's what the government is still keeping secret. And guess what? It's a lot. All of this as we now are getting more and more mounting questions about what in the world is really going on here with this Trump administration, and why haven't we gotten any kind of legitimate answers here. Now, Donald Trump had his own personal take on this, but there's still other bigger conspiracies afoot here, as I would argue. It's probably the same government agency, if not some of the same agents, that probably who are also responsible for taking out politicians who decided to, of course, take them out in different ways. As now we're living in a new day and age where political assassinations don't work. They tried it once. They don't really do anything except for create a murder, okay, and bring to popularity the ideas of the person that the assassin originally tried to, of course, suppress. And when it comes to what happened to MLK, JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, and this whole plethora of even more political characters in the 1960s that were all just abruptly meeting the end of their lives, there's a lot of correlation with the government acting very weird surrounding those particular cases. And I would say there has definitely been a transformation from this kind of brutalistic form of silencing someone to now using character assassination as a form of delegitimizing and taking people out of the political relevancy, social political circles that all of us are entangled in now. I think the 1960s were a big learning lesson for the CIA, as they were able to do whatever they wanted to. Iran-Contra, yeah, let's bring in weapons here. Let's put drugs there. Yeah, let's be international drug traffickers. Yay! Woo! Paid for by the taxpayer. Yeah. Listen, we got a bunch of LSD. Let's dose some random people. Yeah. Oh, there's some inhumane experiments we could do. We could break people's minds through trauma-based mind control. Yay! That's the stuff that we know about. Imagine the stuff that we do not know about. Now, the current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, just came out and said that he delivered on President Trump's executive order. Gee whiz, it sure did take a while, right? The executive order was in January. We're in June. As today, they announced that they're releasing more than 1,000 pages on Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination. Today, the CIA released 54 classified documents related to Senator RFK's assassination with Donald J. Trump's Executive Order 14176. The release provides an additional 1,450 pages on historical material that the agency is making available to the public for the first time. Now, what's in there? I'm not seeing any kind of bombshells, to be quite honest. People are still sifting through it. I did a quick sift through it. Not seeing much here, as the New York Post has the article here. CIA releases more than 1,000 pages on RFK's assassination, including, this is what they found, a chilling statement that, quote, Kennedy must fall, from someone who probably was an MKUltra victim, Sirhan. Again, listen, the whole story about what happened with this guy is just weird, okay? Let's go back a little bit to the RFK story. Since the RFK assassination, when he was running for the presidency of the United States and looking like he was going to win and hold the intel agencies accountable for taking out his brother 5 years before that, there was about 13 to 15 shots fired by Sirhan. He had a revolver that only held 8 shots. How was he able to do this? His positioning, the fatal shot, Sirhan's location throughout all of this, just absolutely weird. There was the girl in the polka dot dress that no one seems to try to answer about. There's, of course, speculation about a second gunman. And Sirhan being a Manchurian candidate. I think a lot of those theories and psychological programs that the CIA was implementing, they just kind of carried out there in their MKUltra type of narrative. Now, before getting into more of the questions here and largely what some people see as disappointments, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop, one of the best shops out there on the internet. We got a lot of great supplements and products available to you. We got teas, we got CBDs, we got ashwagandha, fish oil, magnesium glycinate, creatine. Creatine's going to be back in stock. We've been back ordering. I apologize. I should explain this better. We're going to be back in stock next week. It's going to be shipping out next week. It was so popular. Like, as soon as we got it, boom, it's gone. It went faster. We're usually on top of it. Our button pusher was like, I don't know, you just sold it too fast. I'm like, all right, it happens. But some really good stuff. So if you order it now, we're going to ship it next week. This is some of the best stuff, some of the very powerful stuff that is really good for your brain, really good for your body. Lots of fake news about creatine, but I would say it's one of the most important supplements to take, especially as you get older. Now, why is it important to buy from wearechange.shop and not from Amazon? Well, guess what, guys? There's a lot of fake companies out there pretending to be real companies on Amazon that just literally sell from China fake stuff. Yep, if you buy supplements off of Amazon, this is what FitFounder Dan Go said. You need to read this now, as there are counterfeit companies that Amazon is just not catching. They make the same label. The packaging is just a little bit off, but you think you're getting it from the same reputable company? Nope, it's just the same name, the same label, but fake vitamins, fake protein powders, fake creatines, fake products being sold. And this has been increasing in years, and Amazon isn't doing nothing about it. Look, you can see the counterfeit packaging and the real packaging here. When you order, you think you're getting the real thing. Guess what? You are not. You are being bamboozled by big corporations like Amazon. Sure, they make it convenient. You could click it here, but guess what? We made it convenient for you too on wearechange.shop here. So be seriously careful where you get your products. Go straight to the source list, and we make sure our reputation's on the line here, okay? We're not going to sell you a bunch of crap. That's why we put our name behind it. We do our own shipping and handling. We make sure that the products are tested. We make sure we get some good products out there. We still have got a bunch of signs and hats there too. But we make sure. I'm just going to quickly scroll. I can't show that on YouTube. But this is how you support your own independent health journey, and this is how you support us at the same time. Now, let's go back into these files that essentially are building up to be nothing more than a big old nothing burger. Once again. Now, a lot of people were expecting, like, hey, are we going to get any kind of big disclosures here? Are we going to say that the government actually was involved here? Well, with the overwhelming amount of conspiracy circumstances here, I think it's fair to assume that taking out the Kennedy family was very convenient. And we saw Donald Trump kind of tease this too, as he previously, just actually a few days ago on May 17th, released this video regarding the taking out of what a lot of people believe to be an assassination attempt of JFK Jr.
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney...
Huh, what a coincidence there. That's literally what the President of the United States tweeted out there. He Truth Social, sorry. He posted them on his own Truth Social account. Yeah, that's pretty wild, to say the least here. As of course, it's not just him. There's some serious questions here, but it's him at the helm of a lot of this. Now, the CIA took a long time releasing this. We're so far out from the assassination of RFK and JFK. Release all of it. This happened in 1968. Okay, well, RFK Jr. 5 years before that, JFK. RFK, sorry, not Jr. They were the sons that are still now in I mean, imagine the impact JFK Jr. would be making right now in our political system when he would have beaten Hillary Clinton in that Senate seat in New York. Imagine the Kennedy that would have been out there. And I think there's a reason they took him out here. Now, the files here mostly, quote, shed light that were just released by the CIA on the motivation of Sirhan, a Palestinian-born Jordanian citizen convicted. And again, there's like, oh, he had a handwritten note saying that he wants to take out the Kennedys. Okay. A July 8th personal assessment by the feds declared that under no circumstances would we have predicted that Sirhan was capable of doing what he did. That's interesting. Obviously, we cannot see him as part of a conspiracy. The assessment also states he could be a tool of a conspiracy in the sense that he attempted assassin of Secretary of State William Stewart and the assigned assassin of Vice President Andrew Johnson were tools of the John Wilkes Booth conspiracy. It is very unlikely, however, that he could have effectively acted under precise instructions. It goes on. Essentially, we see Sirhan as much more like the impulsive assassin of James Garfield and William McKinley than the calculating assassin of Lincoln and JFK. That's another one that... listen, at this point, I'm surprised the FBI hasn't come out and said Lincoln took his own life. Listen, we're not getting anything here. And a lot of people were like, yes, we're finally going to get the truth here. I was one of them. I was like, yeah, we're finally going to get the truth here. We're not getting anything here. All we are getting is a chilling note by Sirhan, a guy that probably is, an MKUltra target here. Tulsi Gabbard even came out. This is according to The Independent. It says she used AI to decide which JFK files to release. Listen, this is a surprise here. Release all of them. All of them. All right? We're talking about from the 1960s. Okay? We're talking about 60 years from now. Release all of them. Why are we still doing this? And even when they did that, there were still mistakes in there. They're still like unredacted Social Security numbers. But again, a lot of those people aren't alive anymore. It doesn't really matter. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, said on Tuesday that her office used artificial intelligence to help decide which files should be declassified in the government's investigation into the assassination of JFK. Those files came out. Even Donald Trump was like, oh, we were expecting something. We didn't get much. Big nothing burger. Gabbard attested to the use of AI and machine learning in her office while speaking at an Amazon Web Service conference, saying it helped specifically with declassification. Listen, we're long past the age where we need to classify stuff from. Why are we still classifying stuff here? It just doesn't make sense here. Quote, we have released tens of thousands of documents related to the assassination of JFK and Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and we have been able to do that through the use of AI tools far more quickly than what was done previously, which is to have humans go through and look at every single one of those pages, Gabbard said. Gabbard said that AI tools can look for information such as anything that can be sensitive for living family members, which speeds up otherwise lengthy processes. As part of the Donald Trump's promise to release previously classified documents, in case of public interest, in March, the administration released more than 1,100 files of the government investigation into the 1963 assassination of JFK. Now, I know other people that were expecting some major fireworks here. We definitely did not get it. We're also not getting the Epstein Files. This is a good article by Business Insider that details how the Trump administration still hasn't released a lot of the information, and they detail just how much information they have here as they write how these records could shed light on Jeffrey Epstein's fortune and his law enforcement failures. Yeah, we still don't know how he made all of his money. That's weird. How did he do that? How did he get all those houses and boats and cars and helicopters and submarines and islands and properties that the FBI just never visited? Interesting. Oh, his airplane's just on the tarmac somewhere. Don't worry about it, folks. It's all good. As they write, the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein is haunting the Trump administration. It's more than just that. But there was evidence seized in the 2019 criminal investigation. We still don't know exactly what in the world happened to those. There's Epstein's hard drives that were found in his Manhattan dwelling and also in his Palm Beach dwelling as well. You can see here's a photo of a bin full of hard drives under a bookshelf in Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion. As this was shared in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, the contents of those hard drives still undone. There's other evidence that was seized in the 2007 investigation, a lot of it sealed by judges. There's Epstein grand jury records, still not released. There's the investigation into Epstein's death. That's what we're going to be getting. That's what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing. And they're rehashing this case, and they're trying to double down and convince people who never believed the official version of events that the official version of events are real. This is where they're at. That's not what we want, Kash and Bongino. We want the hard drives. We want the tapes. We want the CDs. We want the Polaroids. We want to know exactly what happened here. But again, the investigation into Epstein's death is what Kash and Dan Bongino are going to be releasing, and then they're going to kind of walk away from this and wash their hands. Same with Pam Bondi. Like, oh yeah, we did it, guys. No, you didn't. Now there's weird contradictions between Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. As Mark Epstein, Epstein's brother, has demanded data from the emergency call that was supposed to be made after the jailhouse officials found Epstein passed away. There's also other Freedom of Information Act articles right now and requests right now talking about, hey, release the phone records of Jeffrey Epstein when he was in jail. The FBI is like, nope, we're not going to give you any of that. So the FBI is now denying, this is other sources that I know. There was an investigation into Epstein's plea deal. Will we get information about that? No. There's all of the Epstein flight logs. Who was flying there? U.S. Marshal Services, have a lot of those documents, right? The FAA has a lot of those documents. It was there. As Bill Clinton was ditching Secret Service. And again, people are asking, how did the FBI miss Epstein earlier when they had victims, children, going to them all the way in the 1990s? How did they miss Larry Nassar for so long? How did they miss all these other predators out there for so long? How convenient. As now people are saying, listen, we're not getting the truth here. And the longer we're not getting the truth, the more pressure, the more speculation mounts on Donald Trump, who, according to new poll numbers, are saying, Donald Trump probably is named in these Epstein files. According to the Daily Mail, they write, most Americans believe President Trump is named in more Epstein files, according to a new exclusive Daily Mail poll. Now, whatever you might think of that poll, it's up to you, but I don't really like polls that much. But I think there is a fair bit of concern here from a lot of people that are now living under the Trump administration, as they have some serious questions, and I think legitimate questions about what was the involvement here. What was really going on here? Why haven't we gotten the dirt on the Clintons that we know there's dirt on? Why haven't we gotten the dirt on the huge mega billionaire players that are politically moving against Donald Trump right now? Well, I think that answer lies with also why we haven't gotten any kind of dirt on what happened to RFK and JFK. Why? Because the government doesn't write down all of the criminal things that they did and doesn't incriminate themselves. That's just the truth of it. You're not going to get the truth from the government. I thought, hey, these guys are making big promises. I thought there was like whistleblowers. I thought there was like eyewitnesses. We don't have any of that. All the documents that actually proved any culpability, any kind of conspiracy, either one, never were documented. Two, if they were shredded and deleted automatically. Because why would you have incriminating evidence on yourself? And the people who really do have a lot of that incriminating evidence, they're not going to willingly hand it over just because Pam Bondi said, hey, please give us something. That's not how things work. That's just common sense. And that's why we're never getting the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. But hey, at least you can still get some good quality supplements on wearechange.shop that aren't fakes. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.